Hello, welcome to another Q&A Thursday. I'm Rachel Harrison-Sund, and I'm going to be answering your low content publishing related questions. So first question is from Julie, and Julie asks, I'd love to know how many books one author account can have and what are the advantages of having more than one account for each niche. So I think Julie's talking about the Author Central account here. And that is basically a page on Amazon that includes your pen name, a brief blurb about you or your brand, and it lists all of your books. So in terms of limit on books, there isn't one. You can have as many books as you want, but there is a limit on pen names. So each account can have up to 3 separate pen names. And if you do have more than 3 pen names, that's totally fine. You can just open up another Author Central account under a different email address. And I always recommend having multiple pen names because that allows you to have a different pen name for each niche. So that kind of allows you to sort of specialize and kind of own that niche if you can. So it also allows you to create disparate themed books. So for example, you don't want to have an adult themed book sharing a pen name with, let's say, like a children's coloring book or something like that, because that obviously doesn't really look very good. So I always encourage you to have similar books under one pen name and then create another pen name for other groups of similar books. Next question is from Janet, and Janet asks, is it possible to also advertise books on other media while Amazon does the publication and fulfillment? For example, could I do Facebook ads to boost sales? So yes, you can advertise however you want. Personally, I have used Facebook ads to try and boost sales for fiction books, but I've never used them on my low content books. So for me, the biggest drawback about doing Facebook ads is you can't put a Facebook pixel on your Amazon pages. So if you're not sure what a Facebook pixel is, the very basic way of explaining it is it's something that you put on a web page that essentially tracks where your customers are coming from and then just allows you to actually measure the results of your ad spend. Because you can't do that on your Amazon pages for your books, it's really hard to track whether or not the Facebook ads are actually helping you out or if you're just throwing money away. So if you're going to spend money on advertising, I would probably sooner start experimenting with Amazon ads. It's just going to be easier for you to kind of track your success that way. So that's where I'd start. If you want to experiment with Facebook ads, obviously feel free, but it's just going to be difficult to kind of measure your success. Okay, so next question is from Abby, and Abby asks, since my cover has a bleed, do I have to create the interior with a bleed so that it matches the exact size of the cover? So no, bleed is the portion that always gets trimmed. It's going to get trimmed off the cover and the interior regardless, and it's only going to be necessary if you have images that extend to the edge of the page. So because the bleed just ends up getting trimmed, both the cover and the interior, they're going to end up that same size anyways. So you always have to have a bleed on the cover, but if you don't have a bleed on the interior, don't worry about that. That size does not have to match up because it's just going to get chopped. Okay, so Ray wants to know, what are the best categories to put our low content books under? So this is a good question. Low content book categories can be really difficult to choose. You kind of just have to choose the one that fits the best. So for example, if you're doing, let's say, a cat themed journal, you're not going to see a cat themed journal category, but you might go under nonfiction / pets / cats. So, that might kind of be the closest related category that you can get your book into. And that's basically just what you have to do. There is an unclassifiable category that you can use if none of the categories seem to fit your particular book. But if you can, try as hard as you can to get it into one of the other categories, because that's just going to boost your book's visibility. The main thing is just to make sure they're as relevant as possible. So there is quite a bit more information I've got regarding categories, and next week I'm actually going to be doing a video on YouTube that talks all about this, how to choose categories, It's also going to give you a little bit of a tip that a lot of publishers don't know, which can get your book into additional categories. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out on Monday. Okay, final question, also from Ray. Are we supposed to put one keyword in each box, or can we put multiple keywords in each box up to the character limit? So try to put one keyword phrase in each slot, but you can include slight variations of that keyword up to the character limit. So it's a little bit tricky to explain, but basically let's take the keyword daily planner as an example. If that's my keyword, and I've also come up with the keyword of weekly planner and monthly planner, I might put daily planner, weekly, monthly into one keyword slot with no commas. So basically what Amazon's going to do when it sees that one keyword, it's going to essentially attempt to combine those words together, and it's going to end up seeing 3 different keywords in that one keyword slot. So that's just going to kind of maximize those keyword slots. Now, some people don't do this because they think essentially what it's going to be doing is watering down your main keyword, but I've actually tested this out myself. And for me, when I started doing this, it did result in some increased visibility and some increased sales. I think the main thing here is to don't just stuff a bunch of random unrelated keywords into one slot, because that's not going to really make any sense. And that might, in fact, end up watering things down. But if you choose one kind of root keyword or keyword phrase and then add in those slight variations at the end, Amazon's going to kind of jumble them up and see, several other keywords in that one slot. But don't put any commas in between there or anything like that. So anyways, there you have it. Those are the 5 questions for today. I hope you found them useful. Thanks for joining me. And once again, if you have any other questions for next week, just drop them down into the comments below and I will add them to the list, and I'll get to them next time. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.